You wonder, Sam, how this is going to be received, particularly in the UK, but also America as well, where they're living. I found it really interesting, the attacks on the palace, and yet the palace hasn't come out and said nothing.
They're not saying a thing. If anything, they're going about their royal duties. We saw the Prince and Princess of Wales with the family attending a Christmas event in the UK, and I think we'll continue to see that over the next week as well. It's going to be really hard, I think, for Meghan and Harry to come back from this. I can't see them going to the coronation next year, surely.
No, I don't think so.
But I do feel for them in that sense. We were sort of saying that off air, weren't we? That they mustn't be happy with how their lives are right now to be projecting so much. I guess Chris Kenny and I discussed this last week too. They're on a lot of money, $150 million to do the 6 hours of private videos and footage that we've seen in the family. But the whole reason they escaped the royal family, or escaped as they call it, was for privacy. So
exactly. And now they've done this.
It's a bit hypocritical. Yeah,
exactly.
I think one of my favourite little clips from last night was when they were referring to their first home together, I guess. They were living on the grounds of Kensington Palace. This is what they had to say.
Well, people concerned we were living at a palace, and we were, in a cottage
we were living on
palace grounds.
Yeah. Kensington Palace sounds very regal. Of course it does. It says palace in the name. But Nottingham Cottage was so small.
The whole thing's on a slight lean, really low ceiling, so I don't know who was there before. They must have been very short.
He would just hit his head constantly in that place because he's so tall. Me with a hoe and H varnishing. It was just a chapter in our lives where I don't think anyone could believe what it was actually like behind the scenes.
She continues to say this.
Sorry,
it's pretty funny, isn't it?
Some bits are a bit cringe, I've got to say.
She continued to say that Oprah Winfrey apparently came over for tea one afternoon and walked in and said, "No one's going to believe this." But look, and as you mentioned, it has been met with mixed reviews.
Yeah. So what are people saying?
There are people who are saying, "Good on them. They're freedom fighters. You know, they've stood by their truth." There is a lot of criticism, as you can imagine. It's been a long time coming, and we are seeing a book as well released next month. I think it's January 10. But one person who has criticised them in the past, so I will point that out, is Piers Morgan, and he's certainly not happy after watching the 6th hour.
Viewers are force-fed simpering clips of the pair frolicking on Californian beaches during COVID. In Tyler Perry's mansion, no less, while most people were locked down, many in tiny homes with lots of children. But they were the real victims, not the thousands of people dying from a new pandemic virus. They again cry foul, of course, at the beastly, horrible media for pursuing them and wanting to take their pictures, whilst persistently throughout this new instalment showing their own highly intrusive pictures of their own children.
Well, there it is. He said his bit, but you know what? Look, fascinating. We're interested to see really the fallout from this and whether this clear rift can ever be mended. So, one to watch.
It has a lot of people talking, and I think Netflix has done very well out of it. It's trending around the world.
Absolutely, they have. They knew what they were doing, Sam. Now, let's move on to the second topic. Any new Christmas movies? Come on, give us some ideas.
There is one, and I haven't seen it myself yet. I've been too busy catching up on shows like The White Lotus. But look, this is a new one just to show you if you might want to check out a movie over the weekend. Of course, I'll probably be doing Love Actually like I do most years, but it's called Spirited. It stars Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds. The film is a modern retelling of Charles Dickens' 1843 novel, A Christmas Carol. It's, of course, a satire. It's not rated too well at the moment, Danica. It's sitting at about 69% on Rotten Tomatoes, but we'll have a look at the trailer.
I told you, the guy is a level 20 Benjamin Dickens. Come on, I can take this guy.
Hey, I'm haunting you. You can't just run away from me when I'm haunting you. Hello?
Look, I'm big fans of them both. Will Ferrell, can't really go wrong. I do love watching Elf every year. But hey, if you want a new movie, that's out at the moment on Apple TV. The other one I want to quickly point out too is Santa Camp. It's a new HBO documentary on Foxtel and Binge. It follows a professional Santa camp in the US. I spoke to the director, Nick Sweeney, a few weeks ago, and he initially wanted to start this by investigating where the origins of becoming a Santa comes from. And he learnt very quickly that there is a growing demand for different kinds of Santas around the world. And so this documentary tracks a few different Santas, including a black Santa.
I say Santa, you say Claus. Santa! Claus! Santa! Claus! The New England Santa Society created a school called Santa Camp.
It's starting to become more visible, and we're starting to do much more promotion of it.
They have bunk beds and they sit around fireplaces.
How fun!
Yeah, it's pretty fun and it's something different, but it's nice to get into the festive season.
Oh gosh, you know, exactly. Look, even if it's rated, the other one's 69% on Rotten Tomatoes, it doesn't matter. It's Christmas time and that's all that matters.
And I'd probably recommend to watch that rather than Harry and Meghan right now.
Oh, 100% agree. Sam Foxon, thank you. Good to speak with you.